Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Diddy has filed a new appeal saying that his judge acted more like a 13th juror than a judge. Yeah, man, Diddy is coming for the keys to the jail cell. Diddy's legal team is ripping Judge Arun Subramanian, accusing him of crossing a line with the 50-month sentence and acting more like a juror than a judge. Diddy filed a new appeal late Tuesday evening demanding his conviction be overturned and his release from prison, or at the very least, his sentence be lightened. While his lawyers have previously filed multiple appeals, this one singles out Judge Subramanian for acting as the 13th juror in the Diddy criminal trial. In the docs, lead appeal attorney Alexandra Shapiro claims the judge's draconian 50-month sentence is based on the conduct of which the actual jurors acquitted Diddy, namely the racketeering and sex trafficking counts. Shapiro claims Subramanian incorrectly said during sentencing he could consider Diddy's behavior related to the more violent charges, even though he'd been acquitted of them, which she calls a violation of Diddy's constitutional rights. Diddy's insisting his sentence should only be based on the 2 counts of violating the Mann Act, transporting individuals for purpose of prostitution, for which he was convicted. In previous appeals, Diddy's team has also argued he did not actually set up the travel or payment for the male prostitutes, and therefore did not violate the Mann Act. Federal prosecutors still have a couple of months to respond before the case can go before the appellate court. Diddy is not going home today. Yeah. I thought Diddy was going to be home before Christmas. I really did. It looks like it's not going to happen. And if he's not going to be home for Christmas, most likely he will not be home for the new year, right? Yeah. Wow. I'm surprised that Cheeto did not pardon him. This is crazy. But Cheeto's fighting a lot right now, you know. I thought he'd throw out a distraction. You know, he liked to throw those distractions out there. I'm thinking that maybe he pardoned Diddy to distract. I mean, he's pardoning drug dealers and stuff. And, you know, he pardoned some other dudes that was accused of some sex stuff. And went their way and pardoned Diddy. Well, they was on bad terms before Diddy went in, so maybe he's trying to let Diddy suffer a little bit. I don't know. But I'm trying to wrap my head around this whole thing with Diddy filing an appeal and calling out the judge, because if my memory serves me correctly, Diddy praised the judge following his trial. Immediately following his trial, he praised the judge for giving him a fast shot. Now he's saying that the judge was the 13th juror. I don't know how that's going to play over when the prosecutors bring that up, because you know they're going to bring that up. So I don't know how they expect to play that. What I can appreciate is Diddy's lawyers throwing everything up against the wall and trying to see what will stick. Well, I guess I'm more impressed with Diddy's money, because they wouldn't be doing that if he didn't have the money to pay him. So Diddy's probably sitting back like, yo, man, do something. Get me out of this motherfucker right now. Get out of here, man. Get me out of here. And Diddy probably, for the life of him, can't understand why he's still sitting in jail with all that money he got. Like, he can't figure it out. And I get it, because in America, you know, we protect billionaires. You know, billionaires get to do what they want to do, basically. You know, not just billionaires, but people with a lot of money. They get to kind of have their way, you know? And, you know, Diddy being one of the richest out there, I know it's hard for him to understand this. It's very hard. Hell, it's hard for me to understand it. Like, this is not a country that punishes billionaires. This country rewards billionaires. Yeah. It don't matter what type of mentality they have. It doesn't matter how often they hurt people. It doesn't matter if they're evil. They are evil personified. It does not matter if they're uncivilized much. If they got that paper, we'll give them a break. We'll cut them some slack. Yeah, man. And they don't have to have the kind of paper Diddy have. So that's what I'm saying. It's really baffling that he's still in there, especially for what they're accusing him of. It doesn't make a lot of sense at all, because had he not been Diddy and he was accused of the exact same thing, he probably would have had a year probation or something like that, or 6 months in jail, and that's it. He would go home. But because it's Diddy, we got to stretch this thing out to the fullest extent of the law, right? And here's the thing, fam. I'm not the dude. I'm not a bleeding heart for Diddy, because, quite frankly, I believe some of those other accusations about Diddy. Yeah, we know what he did to Cassie, and he should have been punished for that. But that's not why he's sitting in jail. And I don't believe that people should be sitting in jail for crimes they didn't commit. If you can't get him on the crime that he committed, then he shouldn't be in jail. You know, you either have the system in place to correctly or properly prosecute and convict someone, or you don't. And when it doesn't work, they're not supposed to be in jail, and you're not supposed to try to make up lesser charges. You're supposed to just free them, because you know how they do when they used to kill black people all the time, and with impunity. You remember that? Remember those good old days? Yeah, those like that, And they would always say, and black people just work with their head down and just be like, we can't get justice. And the mother folks would be like, well, justice where we have to, even the prosecutor say, it didn't go like we wanted to, but we have to respect the decision of the court. Ooh, they got that line down pat. Even the prosecutors. Didn't go like we wanted to, but we got to respect the decision of the court. How many times do you think the prosecution has been riding with the defendant? How many times? How many times has the prosecution rode for the suspects? How many times has the prosecution taken a case before the Klan jury and explained to the Klan jury what the deal was and how they should look at this case and what they thought they should do? They're trying to get an indictment. The prosecutor, the DA, has a lot to say about who gets indicted and who don't get indicted by the way they persuade the Klan jury during their discussions and their meetings with the Klan jury. Yeah. They can go in there and say, hey, this is the case, such and such, essay, such and such, and this is a good guy. He comes from a good home. His dad is the chief of police. His mom is a nurse. And this girl, we heard, she's lied before, and da-da-da-da. They do stuff like that. Yeah, but maybe they're a little bit more sophisticated with the way that they say it, but they do stuff like that where they sway the jury's or the jurors' opinion. They will sway the opinion. They can go in there and, make their case. And guess what? The defense don't get a chance to go in the room and say anything to the Klan jury. They don't get a chance to make their case. And right there is where many of us, most of us, lose in the first place. We don't even get a chance to get out the case, because these people who are already coming with their certain set of implicit biases have already decided that we're guilty. They're already thinking like, we're going to indict. Yeah, we're going to vote to indict. Indict. Him? Oh, no, we don't think we're going to indict him. Oh, we're going to indict that. Yeah, we're going to indict that. Yeah. That's how they do it. These are human beings, fam. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with human beings. Maybe that'll be one way that we can level this thing out some, get a little equality in the judicial system, actually use robots. Maybe AI can figure this thing out, and AI can be, well, they could also at the same time, but as long as you don't have to enter your race, AI, you might be able to get it. You might be able to get it done. As long as you don't have to enter your race or perhaps your name if you have an ethnic sounding name, right? Because people are programming AI. And so AI responds as close to a human being would, right? That's the way AI operates. It takes on the mannerisms of a human being. That's why if you, like, for example, if you use Chat GPT, after you use it a little bit, you can say, hey, write me a message about blah, 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 or a statement about this, and that, and the third, and put it in my voice. And it'll kind of mimic, your style of speaking. I think this case is going to be overturned. Not necessarily rooting for it, not rooting against it, but I think the case is going to be overturned. In America, when you got money, you can hire the best lawyers, and having a lawyer who can articulate a case for his client, who can make that case, because it's all about interpretation. How one lawyer sees a case may not be the way another lawyer sees the case. And if that one specific lawyer can impress upon a judge or a jury about a certain set of events and how it went down and what they think, they can oftentimes get things to go their way. Yeah. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.